Hey there, crypto friends, checking in on the sector. So Bitcoin gave us a daily higher low at 56.78. That's now our most important short-term support. And we know this bounce does not top out until we lose the daily higher lows. Bulls then made their way back up to try and confirm this little bull flag. The bull flag being this move, this little pullback, and now trying for continuation. Have to break 7,000 for a clear bull break. We got up to 68.66, fairly close, and then pulled back. So far unable to break that level, but if we look at the 4-hour uptrend, easily still intact at this point, and the hourly chart is still also holding an uptrend. You could consider this all the same consolidation. So right now, you could also consider it a little lower high here and lower low. Bottom line is the 4-hour uptrend is the most important factor for me because we know when we lose the 4-hour uptrend, our daily lower high will then be set. If we keep that 4-hour uptrend, the bulls keep alive the hopes for a $7,000 break. Weekly chart, multiple inside bars. Last week was an inside bar. This week is an inside bar. Have to break 7,000 for that to be a bull break and for the weekly bounce to be underway. Keeping in mind, we are just looking for a weekly lower high on any bounce. And we need the trend change for a notable longer term shift in momentum back to the bulls. But it's all about 7,000 in the short term. A red flag for the bulls would be to lose the 4-hour uptrend without breaking 7,000, and then the loss of the daily uptrend would then be in play. So 4-hour uptrend and then 56.78, the most important support there. If we break 7,000, there is very little resistance all the way up through 8,000. So we'll just be looking at psychological levels 7.1, 7.2, so on and so forth. So a little bit of an exercise to partake in. And this is just doing your own little homework. But let's say we now know what Bitcoin's chart looks like. So let's say I want to know, what does the Bitcoin dominance chart look like? And I want to know what that chart looks like without looking at it. How could that be possible? Well, I can practice my correlations. I can look at all the altcoin names, compare where they stand to Bitcoin, and then say to myself, okay, are they stronger than Bitcoin or are they weaker than Bitcoin? If they're weaker, I know that that Bitcoin dominance chart is breaking out. If they are stronger, I know that Bitcoin dominance chart is pulling back. So just a real quick run through. I look at ETH, we have not broken the daily resistance. LTC hasn't broken. XRP hasn't broken. Neither has Bitcoin, but Bitcoin got real close. It got about 2% away. Binance, no bull break. XTZ, no bull break. Link, no bull break. BCH, nope. BSV, no. So if nobody's breaking bull, and names percentage-wise are not as close to the high as Bitcoin just got, I'm going to go ahead and say this dominance chart is breaking bullish. And I did look at it this morning, so I did cheat. But that is one way that you can practice. We are breaking out because there is trust going back into Bitcoin over the last week or two, and we are not seeing that same trust reciprocated in the altcoins. So Bitcoin is going up, altcoins are going up, but they're not going up as fast. And that is why we have this dominance chart breaking out. So the weekly bounce is already underway on this dominance chart. And again, you could call this a weekly trend change with a little higher low and higher high. If we zoom out big picture and look at the monthly time frame on the Bitcoin dominance chart, then we're just looking for a monthly lower high to form compared to 70.90. But overall, not a ton of pullback considering the move that we've seen since the lows in 2018. And again, if we can condense this down, let's go to the 2-month time frame. That still looks pretty healthy to me. So let's see now if the current environment where we have unlimited QE and pretty much everything that the macro Bitcoin fundamental bulls have been pointing out as what's wrong with the financial system, let's see if that now leads to more people going into Bitcoin, as we have been seeing clearly over the last week plus. The point for me that I want to make is have all possibilities open. If you are a die-hard Bitcoin maximalist and you are sure that this financial system is going to collapse, have a game plan for what if it doesn't. What if the Fed can print their way out of this and kick the can down the road another decade? It's a possibility. Is it a probability? Maybe you don't think so, but it's possible. Just be aware and play have a game plan for all scenarios. I know what I'm going to do if the dollar starts to collapse and it's no longer the safe haven safety raft. I know what I'm going to do if stocks start ripping back towards all-time highs. Amazon today, pre-market at least, got within 11% of its all-time high after the amount of dump that we've seen. That's notable to me. So I am looking to make money wherever it is possible as a trader, whether or not it aligns with what I think is going to happen. So it's going to get very interesting over the next 6 to 12 months. And we'll continue to watch Bitcoin as a gauge of trust. Battle between the Bitcoin battle between Bitcoin and the dollar for me. Where's the safety raft? And one more point that I want to make before we go into the technical analysis of everybody else. If you're talking big picture, significant capital. So right now you can look at this and say, well, Bitcoin's up X% over the last 2 weeks and it's outperforming every asset. That is true. But you cannot expect someone to put in significant amounts of their net worth into an instrument that can fluctuate 10% in a few hours. I can put significant capital and a significant percentage of my net worth in the dollar because it doesn't have those percentage fluctuations. Now, maybe someday it will, and that will no longer be the case, but the end game, the end percentage number saying Bitcoin is up X% this year and it's the highest performing asset, that's great and that's good publicity, but you can't expect people to put 50% plus of their net worth in something that is going to be making those fluctuations. That's just my point. And you can expect people to be putting 1 to 5% of their net worth into something making those fluctuations, which is what I currently have as my ride or die 100K or $0 position. I've got pretty much 2% of my net worth in that. But if we're talking safe haven, safety raft, dollar still has it for now. ETH. So ETH, we know daily resistance is 154. If we break that level, the daily uptrend continues. Daily higher low is 119.20. So pretty much if we're looking a bit bigger picture, the most important levels to us are the daily higher low and the top of the bounce. The weekly time frame for everybody is forming these inside bars, just sideways trading. And the fact that it's only Tuesday means these inside bars can definitely break this week. If we start getting towards Thursday, Friday, and we're still within this range, we might have to wait until first thing next week for a break of 2 weekly inside bars. ETH BTC is likely dropping, I'm assuming. So that's the case. The daily chart is down at the low, and we're looking at 2048, which is a little double bottom. And if that level breaks, we are looking down at the very low of 203. Bears still in complete control at this point, which means Bitcoin gaining strength relative to Ethereum, ETH. LTC, so the most important resistance is 43.97. If we break it, the inside bar on the weekly breaks bullish, the daily uptrend continues, and we then look for a loss of the daily uptrend to give us the weekly lower high. Daily higher low support 34.51. XRP, same story, resistance 17.6. Still battling this exponential resistance and still failing for now. Daily support is 14.5. BNB, high of the move 13.65. Daily higher low is 10.84. That is the range that we are watching as far as resistance goes. You can gauge where we stand by just saying, okay, we are $1.37 below resistance, and we are currently $1.50 above support. So we're a bit closer to support than we are to resistance, but pretty much in the middle of that range. XTZ, resistance approaching 188, so 13 cents away. Support is down at 144, 30 cents away. Closer to a resistance break than a support break. 4-hour uptrend is key. When we lose the 4-hour uptrends, the daily lower high has been set. If we don't lose the 4-hour uptrend, we don't have a daily lower high, and we can still continue this uptrend with a bull break. Link, same story. We got 266, 35 cents away, and we got 194 support, 35 cents away, 37, right in the middle. BCH, high of 231, $6 away, and support of $225 away. Much closer to resistance than we are to support, and I did the wrong number, so let's do that again. 246 resistance, We are $21 away and $25 above support. So again, right in the middle for most names. And BSV, high of 185.87 and low of 153.09. So that's where we stand in the cryptocurrency space as a whole. Everybody's doing the same thing, except Bitcoin is just doing it a little bit stronger. Daily higher lows are the most important support. Daily tops of the bounce, most important resistance. If we break that resistance, for most names, it's a weekly inside bar bull break, and the weekly bounce is officially clearly underway. Obviously, the bounce is underway at this point, but as far as breaking the pattern of a lower high every week, that doesn't happen unless the inside bars break bullish. And I would not be surprised to stay tight for another day or so. So remain patient and keep an eye on the 4-hour uptrend for short-term action. And when you hear me say 4-hour uptrend for short-term action, you know definitely zoomed out, because 4-hour time frame is usually a longer-term time frame for us day traders. But in terms of clarity's sake, 4-hour and daily for now. Hope you have a good day. Don't forget to do good things out there, and we will see you very soon. Guess I'll give this company a shout out. So obviously no affiliation with them, but used this last year on my girlfriend's raised beds, and it's organic certified soil. And why I got it this time around is because most of my soil is very compact and dense, as it has a base of manure. But this soil is a humus compost, and it's very light and airy, and her plants did extremely well in it, and it did really well with its water retention. So I'm going to mix this with some of my soil in beds that I'm preparing to lighten it up a little bit and get some more fluffy action. And that's better for stuff that needs to grow in the soil, like carrots or beets that need to have space to grow. Lots of flowers around the chicken coop. Not going to be using the chicken coop until next year. Today, or this year, going to just focus on plants only. But it's a pretty good little coop. Want to give the chickens more space and have to make the decision, do I want them to be free range, which is always the best, free range, but then some are going to die from the hawks, or do I want to try and protect them? Probably going to go free range. Pretty close to max bloomage on these trees. There's the greenhouse. So huckleberries were the first things that needed to be transplanted into bigger pots. All the microgreens are popping off. Broccoli sprouts, pea shoots, salad mix, pea shoots, sunflowers. And so once those get big enough, you just come out here with some scissors and take a chunk at a time. And we got all this stuff down here: tomatoes, lettuce, peppers. I'm curious to see what these purple peppers turn into. I didn't do a good job of labeling, so a lot of mystery plants going on as far as the varieties. You can tell the kind of plant it is, what family it's in. A brassica, whether it's going to be kale or cabbage or collard greens, they're all going to look roughly the same. They're all going to start with their leaves looking like this. And you have the nightshades, the tomatoes, and the eggplants and the peppers. The first two leaves on all their plants all look the same. So it's very interesting that pretty much at birth, the family group all looks the same. It's really hard to differentiate what's what. And then once they start getting their second and third sets of leaves, you can differentiate whether it's a tomato or a pepper or things like that. Bunch of the perennial flowers from last year are all starting to put out their new growth. Never really done perennial flowers, but starting to get into that a bunch.